Good afternoon. Can you hear me online?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Thank you both. Good afternoon. Good evening. I call to order the Board of Education regular meeting for May 11th, 2026. I'll ask us to have the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Next on our agenda is public participation. Welcome to the Board of Education regular meeting. Regular meetings are a time for the board to conduct its business. As a Board of Education, we are here to set goals, listen to reports of the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, and personnel appointments, and make policy for the district. The board may hear public participation for up to 60 minutes. Public participation shall be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per speaker. One speaker cannot yield their time to another speaker. There will be no responses this evening to any questions or concerns raised. They will be referred to the administration for review. As adults, we serve as positive role models for our students. Please be respectful of people. We ask speakers not to make defamatory comments or use abusive or vulgar language. Dr. White, are we ready for public participation?
At this time, there are no hands raised and no one signed up.
Thank you. We close the portion of public participation. First, for our action item is the approval of the board meeting minutes of April 27, 2026. Mr. Wilcox?
Yes, hi. I move that we approve the action items of the, no, I'm sorry, board minutes. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah.
Sorry. I move that we approve the board minutes of April 27, 2026.
Second.
Thank you. That's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? We'll vote. Mr. Wilcox?
Yes.
Dr. Benitez?
Yes.
Dr. Joyner?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Downer is not on yet. Mr. Juarez?
Yes.
Ms. Colon is not here. Mr. Ailey?
Yes.
Mayor Elicker?
Yes.
I'm a yes as well. That motion carries. Next is the personnel report. Dr. Negron?
Good evening, Dr. Yarborough and board members. Before asking for approval of the personnel report, tonight I would like to recognize Lori Gracie, business teacher, who will retire on June 30th after serving 25 years. And also Krima Bird, cafeteria manager 1, retiring on July 6th after dedicating 33 years to NHPS. And with that, I ask for approval of tonight's personnel report.
Mr. Wilcox?
I move we approve the action items of the superintendent's personnel report.
Thank you. I second the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Wilcox?
Yes.
Dr. Joyner?
Yes.
Dr. Benitez?
Yes.
Mr. Juarez?
Yes.
Mr. Ailey?
Yes.
Mayor Elicker?
Yes.
I'm a yes as well. That motion carries. Next is the Finance and Operations Committee report. for action items. Mr. Wilcox?
Before I make the main motion, just checking to see if anybody would like anything moved separately. Hearing and seeing none, I will go ahead and make the main motion, and that is I move that we approve these two abstracts, this one agreement, these 4 change orders as outlined on our agenda.
Thank you. I second. Any discussion? We'll vote. Mr. Wilcox?
Yes.
Dr. Joyner?
Yes.
Dr. Benitez?
Yes.
Mr. Waters?
Yes.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mayor Elicker?
Yes.
I'm a yes as well. That motion carries. Next is the President's report. Thank you all for being here. Just a couple of quick notes. A few months ago, the district participated in a financial fair where high school students were brought by their schools to Gateway, and there were several programs involved, including volunteers from various credit unions. And the students got an opportunity to have their own profile and to see what it would be like to be an adult on their own, where they made decisions based on their occupation, what housing they wanted, what they wanted their lifestyle to be, their transportation. And then after they made those choices and went around to the different tables to make decisions, they got a chance to meet with a financial advisor and to get personal feedback on their finances and how it looked based on the decisions they made and the profile they came in with. And then the students were invited to go back and make changes in their financial decisions. We had several high school teachers that have been doing financial work with students from an education level for the district for a while. And I just wanted to highlight the work that the district has done for a number of years, and also the partnership as it relates to personal finances. For anyone who is an adult, anyone who is a young adult, that's one of the biggest transitions that happens when someone graduates, is being able to make financial decisions and understand all the things that are at play. So I just wanted to highlight and celebrate the teachers that have been doing this work for a while, and then the specific partners who were involved in that activity for our district. Also want to thank the superintendent and team. I heard that there is a strong financial presentation to the Board of Alders on last week. It started very late in the evening in terms of when the presentation was actually made, but the district has been preparing for a while and has done a significant amount of work in order to help the public and the members of our district and board understand our financial situation, what our opportunities are, what the needs are. And I just want to celebrate Dr. Negron, Mr. Hernandez, the cabinet, and all the other participants who made that time possible, both then on that night and before. And a special thanks to Mr. Wilcox, who was there in person and stayed the entire time. Also thank the alders, who are our elders, but I thank the alders for receiving the presentation and allowing us the opportunity to present on such an important part of our city's budget. That concludes my report. Any discussion? Thank you. Seeing none, superintendent's report.
Thank you. Tonight for you, I have 4 updates that I would like to share. Dr. White is going to assist me with a quick presentation. So last Wednesday, we were hosted, Dr. White, never mind. I got it. I forgot that I have control. Thank you. Last Wednesday, we were hosted by the Yelp Peabody Museum of Natural History to celebrate the impactful work happening in the New Haven Public Schools science classrooms led by Division over Science Supervisor Robert McCain and Science Coach Heather Toothaker. Okay. We were super excited to induct, here we go, to induct our inaugural cohort of Spotlight Educators. They are recognized for their incredible work. And let me tell you a little bit about this wonderful learning experience. Okay. The Spotlight Educator journey is not a single moment. It is a process. Throughout this experience, educators set goals. They reflected on their practice and collected evidence of student learning. They opened their classrooms, shared their thinking, and worked collaboratively with colleagues. According to our Spotlight Educators, what they have seen is powerful. Students engaging deeply in investigations, rich science notebooks filled with evolving ideas, classrooms full of discussion, collaboration, and sense-making. This work represents what three-dimensional learning truly looks like in action. Spotlight Educators center student thinking, embrace inquiry and exploration, use evidence to guide instruction, create inclusive spaces where all students can participate and succeed. As part of the New Haven Public Schools' commitment to building internal capacity, these educators are also developing as curriculum experts, strengthening instructional practices across classrooms, schools, and the district. They are leaders, not just in their classrooms, but across their schools and the broader NHPS community. Their impact is also extending nationally, as their work was recently shared at the National Science Teaching Association Conference in Anaheim, California, helping connect other Smithsonian curriculum users and amplify high-quality science instruction for students across the country. This work is made stronger through partnership. Our collaboration with the Yale Peabody Museum of Natural History has created opportunities for teachers and students to extend learning beyond the classroom walls. Together, we've connected curriculum to real-world artifacts, experiences, and community resources. This partnership reflects what is possible when schools and community institutions work together with a shared purpose. This year alone, over 4,000 New Haven public school students visited the museum, engaging directly with real scientific phenomena, exhibits, and research-based learning. These are the kinds of experiences that bring science to life in ways that simply can't be replicated in a classroom alone. In addition, thanks to a generous donation, they were able to provide over 86 science-based workshops, giving students deeper hands-on opportunities to explore critical topics across life, earth, and environmental science. Equally important is the investment in our educators. Teachers participated in a full-day professional learning experience in September, where they worked alongside researchers, explore archive collections, and strengthen their content knowledge through hands-on learning. Throughout the year, they also engaged in a series of after-school workshops that connected current scientific research directly to their instruction, strengthened their use of the Smithsonian curriculum, and helped build vertical alignment across grade levels. Together, this partnership is not just enhancing individual experiences, it's strengthening our entire science program by ensuring that both students and teachers are engaging with science in meaningful, authentic, and connected ways. And let me now show you the folks that have been engaging in these after-school workshops that connect current scientific research directly to their instruction, strengthening their use of the Smithsonian curriculum, and helping them build that alignment. So from Benjamin Jepson, Magna School, grades 3 and 4, Elizabeth McCann, she says, the opportunity to see strategies modeled strengthened my understanding of effective implementation. As a result, I developed a deeper understanding of the curriculum and increased confidence in delivering high-quality instruction. From Conti West School, grade 4, Marta Tamulevic, she said, through the program, I shifted toward a more inquiry-based student-centered approach that emphasizes investigation and discovery in science learning. I also implemented interactive science notebooks as purposeful tools for student reflection and authentic assessment. From Family Academy, a multilingual exploration, grades 5-6, Emma Salvatore. She said, through this experience, I have strengthened my classroom management practices, developed resources to better support MLLs and SPED learners, and implemented more effective scaffolding strategies. From Fairhaven, grades 5-6, Christine Anderson. She stated, the support has helped me better adapt materials to meet the needs of multilingual learners and use the provided rubrics to more effectively assess student learning. From Worthington Hooker School, grades 5 and 6, Melanie Seeger, who says, participating in the Spotlight Educator program provided space for reflection and validation, helping me think more intentionally about my teaching and the impact it has on students. From the Engineering Science University Magna School, grade 6, Elisa Anderson stated, through the Spotlight Educator program, I have strengthened my skills in adapting lessons to fit time constraints, managing classroom transitions, and improving laboratory setup and organization. And from Betsy Ross, Arts and Design Academy, grade 7, Zachary Sable, said, the regular coaching and feedback cycle has provided meaningful opportunities for reflection, while collaboration and discussions around instructional strategies have been immensely beneficial to my growth as an educator. I want to note that last Wednesday, while we were at the event, Mr. Sabo showed up while his wife has just given birth to his third child. She was still in the hospital, and still he did not want to miss the event. Of course, we had to send him back to go join his wife at the hospital. And last but not least, from Clinton Avenue School, grade 7, Stephanie Persiani. She said, participating in the Spotlight Educator program has helped me strengthen my teaching practice, provided valuable coaching support, and elevated my instructional approach. And from Fairhaven, grade 7-8, Kelly Ann Baker, who said, participating in the Spotlight Educator program has significantly supported my growth as an educator by helping me refine my instructional practice. So again, I ask that you join me in congratulating all of our 9 Spotlight educators as our inaugural cohort. Great things are happening at NHPS. For my second update, I also want to share some fabulous news. And I just want to say, I think Dr. Y is better than me at this clicker from here. There we go. Went back. Okay. I am happy to share with you that ESOM students, Titila Diula Adeniran and Sahana Bandari Alexander, have won first place in the documentary category at the Connecticut History Day state competition held at Central Connecticut State University. Their winning project, A Trial of Principles, Prudence Crandall's Case for Education and the Legal Foundation of American Civil Rights, explores the 1833 struggle of a school teacher, Prudence Crandall, to educate Black girls in Canterbury, Connecticut. The documentary highlights how this local act of defiance laid the groundwork for the 14th Amendment in the landmark Brown versus Board of Education decision. As state champions, Adeniran and Bandari Alexander will represent Connecticut at the National History Day competition at the University of Maryland, College Park this June. Crandall's struggle reminds us that progress is rarely immediate. The students noted in their script. Change begins when individuals who are willing to stand up to injustice, even when it's unprecedented. This achievement highlights the academic versatility of ESOM students who consistently excel in both rigorous STEM fields and high-level historical research. Titala Dialua, I hope I'm not mispronouncing your name, honey, and Sahana embody your school's motto to imagine, investigate, and invent, said faculty advisor Eve Galanes. We are incredibly proud to have them representing our school and our state on the national stage. So I invite you to also congratulate these two amazing girls from ESOMs, or state champions. For my third update, I want to give a shout out for the vision and the leadership of these 4 amazing art teachers at James Hillhouse High School. Miss Lilian Echevarria, Miss Stephanie Muniz, Miss Andrea Lansback, and Miss Marta Medina. These ladies took it upon themselves to create a student art wing gallery at Hillhouse. Nobody instructed them to do it. Nobody asked them to do it. They just took it upon themselves, seeing the amazing pieces of art that our students are producing. They wanted students to be able to share with one another. And I have to say, if you can look at this picture, that wing looks beautiful. Everything looks in order. I went to look at it 3 days later, and that is exactly how it looked. That just shows the high level of respect that our students have for one another. And again, I just really wanted to publicly thank these teachers again who have created this amazing space for students at Hillhouse. So thank you. And for my last update, on behalf of the students of the New Haven Public Schools, I want to take a moment to thank our students, staff, families, and the New Haven Federation of Teachers for the collective advocacy for education funding. I also want to thank the legislators for the long hours spent listening to and elevating the testimonies of so many who came before them to speak to the current realities in public education. We are grateful to our New Haven State delegation and to the governor for the one-time supplemental aid that we are about to receive as a result of Senate Bill number 1. These funds are sorely needed. As you've heard me say time and time again, NHPS has done the hard work of closing emerging schools and reducing staff and programming. I want to remind our community that even so, we face a budget shortfall of almost $13 million this year and an $18.9 million projected deficit for next year. The additional one-time supplemental aid of $7.6 million alone will not close our projected deficit, but it will significantly contribute towards our ability to maintain existing programs and services. But I am also pleased to learn just this afternoon that the city leadership intends to propose tonight that $6.3 million of the municipal aid that is being directed to New Haven be directed towards education to help close the fiscal year 27 gap. I am confident that our alders and that our New Haven community will be interested in having this discussion, and we stand ready to engage in that conversation. I also look forward to learning about the work of the Blue Ribbon Commission on K-12 education funding and accountability. Their task of creating a strategic plan to modernize Connecticut outdated school formula, especially the education cost-sharing formula, is vital to maximizing student outcomes and ensuring equity across our districts. But again, on behalf of all of us, just wanted to extend our gratitude again to our state delegation, to the governor, to Mayor Elicker, and to all of our unions that have been with us advocating for the last 2 years. And with that, I conclude my updates and I open it up for any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much, Dr. Negron. Any discussion? Mr. Wilcox?
Yes, thank you for those updates, and it's great to always hear about student success and the good work of the teachers and other staff are doing in the schools. So thank you for those updates. And also just a brief moment on the financial update that you gave too. Yes, thanks for everybody. As was mentioned by President Yarborough, I was able to also attend the Long Day's Journey, and tonight there was the Board of Alders Finance Committee meeting where the presentation, the best presentation I've seen from the school district under any administration on school finances, the challenges that are there, bringing in a lot of different other voices into the mix there. So it was a great presentation. So on top of all the excellent work, because the only reason why the legislators are coming through is because they were able to listen to the voices of the students, the teachers, the other union members, the staff members, and the administration, always there with the data, to have data in hand so that when there's questions, you can say here. So this is very promising news as far as that goes, and I certainly hope that the city alders, and I have every faith they will be supportive of closing this gap. And they've had many opportunities to seek more information. I'm sure they will be over the next few weeks as they weigh their heavy decisions. So, but thank you very much for the presentation, and thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Wilcox. Dr. Joyner?
Well, first of all, this is beautiful news, and we need to raise money to make a short film about the power and the glory of the New Haven Public School System. I think my oldest student is about 73, and I talked to him 2 days ago. He has a PhD in theology, a PhD in economics, a Bachelor of Arts in economics from Columbia, and a Master of Arts in economics from Cornell. His name is Dr. Michael Green. You should probably Google him. He's a Hillhouse graduate. And I talked to another one of my students, Errol Ennis, who is a physician's assistant, who has a bachelor's and a master's in psychology, and he was the highest acclaimed PA at Yale School of Nursing when he graduated, which means that we offer a phenomenal education for children who are able to and willing to connect to the wonderful teachers that we have. My children are graduates of the system. I believe Mr. Wilcox's kids are as well, and Reverend Elliker, and I think all of our board members have that connection. I can't think of Dr. Benitez's grandchild, but she's a precious little girl. I think that we do things through people, and we have to keep making sure we put the right people in the right places to do the right thing. And I would like to shout out Martin Looney, who is his family came here from Ireland. His mother supported Kamala Harris in the last election. That's the kind of family he comes from. And he has been a conscience of the Senate. And I believe he's going to not run this time. But if that's true, we should give him the greatest send-off that we can. All Irish eyes and other eyes should be shining and smiling when he goes through. I also like to give a shout out to Medria Blue. You don't hear a lot from her, and people might think running a school like Easham's is easy, but it's not. It's very difficult because there's a high level of expectation from the kids, from the parents, and so on and so forth. She's also a New Haven graduate and one of the finest principals in the country. It warms my heart to see that there's still people around like Matthew Wilcox. I don't think anybody knows, but somebody who's worked closely with him since he's been on the board, that he has the fire and the fervor of an antebellum abolitionist. So if you know your history, you know about William Lloyd Garrison, and you know about Theodore Well Parker. And he also has the intellect and courage and compassion. People make a lot about complexion. Complexion is not a credential. Compassion, courage, commitment, and competency are the C's that matter when it comes to human beings. And his presence in this community and on this board through hard times, we've been through a lot of hard times together, and the fact that he's never wavered in his ethics and his commitment to the Constitution and to the principles, the theological principles that people claim to have in this country. I think the battle ahead for us is to accept the fact that we're not going to get everything we need, but we also have to improve our operational efficiencies so that we can make the best impact with the monies that we have, which means that we're going to have to ask more of kids, their parents, staff, board members, the entire community. Dr. Negron, this is a beautiful thing. And you should never let anybody rain on your parade, because we offer a phenomenal education to children in this city who desire it and to parents who will support it. So I'm very proud of what we've been able to accomplish. And we need to document it. We need to do videos and movies and continue to do student exhibitions like the math exhibition at Hill House a few weeks ago, the art exhibition in the hallway. That is how I was able to get Chancellor Levy in New York City to support a lot of schools in Brooklyn, because I asked the superintendents to do a student exhibit at the Marriott in Brooklyn. And when he came there, he saw that despite the disadvantages that too many kids in that community had, they were doing great work. In fact, I remember asking him, he said, well, we got to get the test scores up. I said, well, what if you ask every sixth grader to be 5.3 at the end of every year? Would that work? He said, I get your point. Performance is uneven because of unearned disadvantages. But despite that, you see the work of our kids, you see the work of their teachers, you see the tireless advocacy of board members and our elected officials. And we're in the third stage of the American Revolution. First revolution created a country. Second revolution was a war that denied people citizenship. And the third revolution is giving people the skills and the commitment to take advantage of the first two. That's where we are. And that's how I see it. So thank you so much. Keep up the good work. And as I said in the civil rights movement, walk together, children, don't you get weary. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Joyner. Dr. Benitez.
Thank you, Dr. Negron, for the updates. Congratulations to these students who did the video. I'm so excited about videos on history. And I'm glad that we have students engaging in that and that they have been recognized. I also want to say that it is amazing to see. I saw one of the profiles of the teachers in the spotlight today, looking at different things in media. And I was very proud to see how focused this program is for teachers to understand how they can impact student development and knowledge. And I encourage teachers, other teachers, to engage in programs as such. As a young teacher, I engage in many of the opportunities at Yale and other organizations that provided me the opportunity to grow as an educator, as part of a community. And the difference was how happy I was to show up to work every morning, every day, to that last day I was here. And I encourage teachers to engage in these type of things that enhance their understanding, their knowledge, and their engagement with kids. So kudos for those teachers who got involved in this and those many of the other teachers who are engaged in many different programs. And finally, I do have to say, we're going to miss Martin Looney. I mean, I have to say that he was a champion in my career because I was a Fairhaven kid who arrived from an island, and he recognized me from day one. Just by canvassing, he met my family and he said, you know, welcome to this neighborhood. Yes, it was Irish at one point. My Irish neighbors sometimes didn't understand why we spoke so loud in Spanish, but Martin did understand and loved our family. And when I opened the new school in Fairhaven, he was there to congratulate us, to cheer on what the accomplishment was. And to my surprise, he remembered when he met me as a young person and how he met my mother and my siblings. And you don't get too many politicians who remember those things. And so he's going to be missed. I'm sure he's not going to disappear, but I was very happy to see that one of his last accomplishments were to support our educational system. So yeah, these great updates. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Benitez. And thank you, Dr. Negron, for your report. Next, we have the governance report. Dr. Benitez.
Good evening, members of the Board of Education and the public. We met on April 28th. And at that time, we have been working on refining how we work on policy. And so one of the things that Ms. Tiffany Jackson and Ms. Denegger have been helping us do is creating certain steps and protocols that we have, but we are refining them. So one of the things that Ms. Jackson did for this past meeting was to share with us a checklist that might be a help for the governance committee to create or update policy. The first thing that she shared was an outline that CABE provided. It's called the core CABE elements, and that is provided to Board of Education so that we understand how we can update or review policy. The other thing is we had a discussion about how do we deal with adopting emergency policy. And also the committee discussed additions to that checklist. What we did is we asked every member to look at it and to provide feedback, and we will be discussing that in our next meeting. The second thing we did at that meeting, we were working on updating our culture and climate policy. These are updates because as we implement policy and changes in the law arise, or changes in our procedures arise, we have to train our staff. And what the members of the staff who are part of the governance meetings do is they keep us up to date on how implementation of policy is happening, what are some of the challenges, and how they're meeting that challenge. They will continue to let us know how things are happening, and as things are changed that will impact the public and students, they will be on the website. And they will continue to have discussions with students around culture and climate in the schools. The most important thing is that this committee continues to discuss how we can support every member of our community on executing policy. It is a challenge. We all know that words are put on paper, but what is challenging is to actually take action that reflects those words. So we are working on that, and I have to say, I have to thank both Ms. Jackson and Ms. Denegre for their support. We also had some other staff members come to address the committee, and that was very important. Mr. Tavares and Ms. Abbott, both of whom are constantly working with the culture and climate. And that's important because the committee needs to understand the impact of policy. So that's what we have done this month. We shall continue to inform you. Thank you. Oh, sorry. I need a point of privilege. I would like to ask if we can have a minute of silence for my dad passing yesterday morning at 6 a.m. I didn't think this was going to happen. A minute of silence. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Benitez. You are certainly entitled to all the personal privilege that comes your way. So sad and sorry to hear about your loss. And I also just got to witness in this moment the strong legacy that you live out. To be able to come to chair the governance committee and deliver a report, even as your family are in mourning. Thank you very much for your presence, for your ongoing work. And please let us know if we may be of tangible support in days ahead.
I want to tell you all, he was a kid from the Bronx. He was not a privileged man, but he made sure that even though they divorced and all that, but even though he always makes sure that we understood how important it was for us to make a difference in life, because he lived poverty, as did my mom. And they knew that if we didn't champion things for ourselves and then for others, kids like him wouldn't have made it, because it was by the champions he found that he was able to sneak into synagogue when he was a Jewish kid and learn how to play the piano and sing with the cantor, or going to the Jewish ladies who lived in his building, because his dad was a superintendent in a building that most people were Jewish, and they would tell him stories and teach him about how life wasn't just what's in your block. So my dad traveled the world. He says, we were not with him, but he says he went around the world 10 times while working on cruise ships, because he was a musician. So he did listen to those ladies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Benitez. For teaching and learning, there's no report. Dr. Joyner, you're off.
Yeah, I'd just like to just make a quick comment. I don't have a report, but I'd like to make a quick comment if it's okay.
Please.
Most of you probably know that Maya Angelou wrote a poem called Phenomenal Woman. And there are lots of them. And certainly Dr. B is one. You know, those of us who did grow up in poverty were taught by our ancestors that everybody falls down, you just don't lay there and wallow. And I'm so sorry that her father has gone. I lost mine when I was a third-year teacher. But as you said, Dr. Yarborough, that spirit lives on in a woman who is unafraid, brilliant, bright. She's a little cute. And I think that's the greatest debt we can pay to our parents and our grandparents, is continue to work in the world that they would do if they were still here. And she's also a great blend of indigenous, African, and Taino, and which says that there's no race. There's just human beings of different blends and mixtures, but we're all one race, Homo sapiens. And Dr. B, I think you know how much I admire and respect you. And if there's anything I can do to help make this a little easier for you in your father's name, let me know. And I think the whole board, we should try to do something to memorialize her dad, even if we create a leadership award or something like that, to make sure that nobody ever forgets that it was he and his wife that produced this wonderful educator. I don't think anybody has a governor's chair like ours, who has a lived experience as well as a professional experience and a moral commitment that was passed to her from her parents. So hang tough, Dr. B. As my grandmother would say, you're going to be all right.
Thank you, Dr. Joyner. Thank you, Dr. Benitez. And thank you for sharing with us. Finance and Operations Committee reports. Mr. Wilcox.
Thank you. I will be brief. Two things I want to mention in addition to we already talked about. We passed the action items that came out of the committee at our last meeting, but two other things. One is we're moving our first Monday in July meeting from Monday to Tuesday, just to accommodate some people traveling after the long holiday weekend. So that's just to notify you all of that. Another thing is just also mention that we're also working on changes to the procurement policy, just a little bit of update to that. And we had a really productive meeting with some people from the schools and also with the city to talk about some issues connected to, as we've talked about, the educational related things as it happens in our procurement policy, and then also in the how long we're going to have a sole source letter. And so some brief change or minor changes, but I think important ones just wanted to update everybody on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, our students' representative report. Mr. Ailey?
Great. Good morning, board. I do apologize for being out for a bit. I was, a little sick between actually being sick and then nauseousness, I guess. So I have a yearly report for the building climate liaisons that I would like to present, and probably some commentary. I'll be on the podium.
Thank you.
All right, so I did send all of you the better version of the document so you can see it better, and for the public, they'll be sent shortly. So last year, before me, John Carlos decided to basically make a role for students, that being the building climate liaisons, basically to focus on district concerns, experiences, giving recommendations, ideas for the board itself. And just back. This one. All right. Yeah. So after gathering information, multiple student governance conferences and whatnot, and with the help of the SCL people such as Miss Mary Sullivan and Miss Sappett, I'm here to just basically present what we have found. So, thank you. So in the context, over the course of the year, the climate liaisons, the student reps, and student leaderships, aka people from the student governance, gathered feedback from students across multiple schools and grade levels. It was mainly high school students. We unfortunately did not get time to get middle school students for much of this. And basically, students discussed a wide variety of experiences related to academia, mental health, facilities, extracurricular opportunities, and inclusion, and also some district policies. And one of the main goals from this report that I would like to share with all of you is to basically strengthen the communication between students and the board itself. Because as you know, not many people are going to come to board meetings if they don't have, motivation. And that's where I come in, giving out all the reports sent from each leadership role from around the districts, mainly from students. And at the same time, this report basically focuses on possible solutions that the board could partake if it could be possible. But as we know, there's not much funding this year, so not many of this would probably get initiated basically this year, but in the future. And more importantly, this basically reflects the value of the student voice and the importance of students in conversating about and school improvements, as I said before. So tonight's presentation is organized into several major discussions. First, I'll discuss one of the main issues, that being mental health and well-being, followed by academic support and school resources. And after that, I will go to school infrastructures and facilities, district policies, mainly around artificial intelligence, school culture and inclusion, opportunities for students when it comes to extracurriculars, and resource allocation. And basically, and towards the end of the presentation, I will basically give all of you the board questionnaires that if you'd like to answer here or would you like to answer in an email, that will eventually give to the student governance in the last meeting that is, I'm not sure if it's held this month. I think it's held this month. So in this report, you will see the major concerns, and then you, on the other side, you will also see possible resolutions that students have basically made for us. Yeah, that's basically the main idea. So we go into the first discussion, and really the main discussion of all this, mental health and well-being. So many students express that stress levels are, extremely high. It's tense. You have to balance academics. You have to balance activities that you want to do. You have to balance responsibilities, probably family. And if you're in as a senior, college and career. And basically students have frequently discussed that they're feeling burnout, exhaustion, pressure from all of these different things combined. And another common concern from the students that was raised was that the current support system that HPS has can sometimes feel difficult to access. Some reports that I've seen is that some schools, mainly in the high school academics, don't have much support when it comes to mental health and well-being, and it is being changed. Basically we have the SCL ambassadors and all other leadership roles coming together to basically make sure that we can try to help out with mental health and well-being, giving lessons, lectures, fun activities, and we already have our own SCL day that we participate every year. But that shouldn't be just once, that should be basically every day, because you can't only focus on academics and expect a student to do well. You can't just expect that. You have to combine a little bit of support and then combine academic as well, bring them together, the student's good. And many students also discussed how mental health directly affects their academic performance, their motivation, their attendance, and basically overall well-being around the classroom. And due to this, students recommend increasing access to counselors, social workers, and support staff across the schools. Now, knowing this, we still don't have, the funding to bring more student counselors and all the other workers because, we don't have funding for most of it. And I mean, it's kind of unfair only because say we're going to career, there's 3 counselors in the whole school, and we have over 750 students. So that's the ratio between that is large. So one can't focus on every student. And because of that, they don't have much time and they have to rush through everything. And the student isn't basically feeling welcomed in a way. Students also suggest more wellness activities, mindfulness opportunities, stress management initiatives, and programs focused on emotional well-being. Now, this we are still doing through the ambassador program, the intern program for social emotional learning, but it needs to be expanded abroad, not just high school. We need to do middle schools, elementary, just so that the students that grow up in HPS can graduate from HPS knowing every single skill that we have provided them. Any questions so far? All right.
You
Oh.
did mention that it was shared, but I don't see it anywhere.
I sent it through your email on the NHBOE.
Yeah, I'm on the email. Okay, I'll keep digging. Thank you. Did board members get it? Okay,
Didn't send?
thank you.
All right. Did they send it or did not? All right. Do apologize for that. So the next topic is academic support. So many students talked about heavy assignment pressure. So basically, we're talking about AP students, students taking college before college, that sort of programs, and some students who just came into the country trying to learn everything, but they can't really learn everything. They just came in, they're trying to learn English and then trying to put everything else on the building block. Students also said that there is limited access to tutoring or academic assistance outside of class. So basically, some students addressed that some schools don't really provide as much academic support when it comes to, say you're trying to learn biology and a concept and you don't get it, but the teacher can't stay after and that sort of thing. So another example is students discussed wanting more tutoring opportunities and standardized testing preparations as well. And lastly, study workshops and academic support programs after school. So integrating these together might be hard. Again, a lot of it is funding. You can't expect a teacher to stay after if they don't get the money. So some teachers stay after because they're willing, because they love their students. But some teachers can't really do that because time constraints and all that different jargon. So, and one of the other concerns was that technology access is also a different concern. Students recommend improving access to educational technology. So basically some programs inside, and I'll be honest, Chromebooks don't really run that well. A lot of them have problems. And so some students have to decide to get their own technology to school because, well, a lot of the Chromebook programs that is offered through NHPS don't really work. And then you have, what's that program called? Securely, I think it was called. A lot of students have concerns over that because some teachers are still like new to implementing Securely. It's like a lockdown browser in a way to make sure there's like academic integrity and stuff. But some teachers forget to turn it off. And so when they get to their next class, they can't really go to any other tab until the first teacher himself actually turns it off. And that's like one of the major concerns that has been common around New Haven across the board. So overall, students express that academic success becomes much more achievable when students actually feel supported more than overwhelmed. Any questions? Then we get to school infrastructure. So students raise concerns over basically the conditions of our schools. Now, I will say, I applaud the board for a lot of their new what's it called? Basically, I've seen like stairs being fixed, bathrooms being fixed all around the school. So I have to applaud you for that. But there are still other problems in some of the schools. And I do understand that funding, again, is one of the main problems when it comes to it. And so we can't really allocate everything and fix the schools. Basically just infrastructure damage. And basically students want faster response to maintenance requests. A lot of the schools are having their AC being broken and it has to go, and some schools bought fans, but it doesn't really work because a lot of the fans that some of the schools bought broke after the third day, so I'm not sure what happened there. But They just want maintenance to basically go faster, make so they can feel comfortable inside their own classrooms. It's getting hot, starting to at least. It's still a little bit cold, but when it comes to that month, they still have concerns over the AC. That's basically for this one. Then we get to artificial intelligence. So students shared that expectations around AI are often unclear and may differ significantly depending on the classroom and teacher. There's a lot of different policies going around. One teacher could say you can't use it at all. Some of the teachers say you can use it but limited. And basically, students are confused on whether to rely on a teacher, do I rely on a principal when it comes to it? So they're basically confused on that. So some students say that AI can be valuable when used for studying, brainstorming, academic support, because that's like one of the main concerns already. So some students tend on using artificial intelligence to help with their academic support when the case where a teacher is not there or can't be staying after school for some other reason. But at the same time, some students also raise concern regarding the misuse of it, also teachers, academic dishonesty, over-reliance on AI tools, and inconsistent enforcement of policies, aka do we use it, do we not? So in response to basically all of these problems, students recommended that the district create a overall AI guideline on whether how to use it, how to not use it, when to use it, when to not. And basically expectations around the schools and AI ethics. So basically give like a presentation to each school once a year, tell them the ethics of AI, how to use it, how to not use it, that sort of thing. So they could know from the get-go how to use artificial intelligence. This is a growing thing and you can't really take it away. Any questions? And I'll be honest, this is my favorite one, school culture and inclusion. So students discuss concerns related to bullying, peer conflict, representation, inclusivity, and communication between students and school communities. Many students emphasize the importance of creating like a safer discussion space where students can feel respected, including basically expressing themselves. So, what's it called? Students want like a stronger cultural representation. Some don't feel welcome, as I said before, when it comes to integrating to like a new school or a new environment. And some schools have done multiple events such as Black history or Latino history or Arabic history, and trying to implement that because a percentage of the school is from this genre, a percentage from the school is from this genre, and like different genres around. And our goal in HPS is basically to be inclusive, be welcome to every single person that comes into our grounds. And we want more of that, basically. There's not enough. So events going around in school and say like a culture festival around the school. There's not enough. So students recommend that additional cultural celebrations, grade level town halls, diversity focused events, and guest speakers focused on inclusion and student experiences should be met. That's their recommendations. And several other students also emphasize the importance of increasing student involvement in conversations and decisions that affect school climate and student life, which is being met in situations like this, where I'm talking and giving the board and the public concerns and possible recommendations. So So overall, students express that positive school culture plays a major role into both student well-being and academic success. Then we get to social life. Students express wanting more clubs, after-school activities, field trips, internship opportunities, and school-wide or district-wide event. As I've seen basically throughout the year, we have been having more district-wide events for students and staff. And basically, we've been having more partnerships, say Yale, say a private company. We have many different diverse partnerships that are with students, and we're beginning to implement that more. But students explain that extracurricular opportunities basically help the student build leadership skills, strengthen friendships, improve engagement, and stronger communities and schools. Several students also discussed wanting more opportunities connected to college readiness, career exploration, and real-world experiences outside the classroom. And another concern was that internships, no, not concerns, more like recommendations. Internships and field trips were discussed often because many students feel that these opportunities help them connect classrooms to learning and to future goals. We don't have many field trips, and basically students want more where they can actually learn stuff. So say the field trips that was mentioned before, going to Gateway and learning about finance, more of that, but into a whole district-wide general thing. Having more access for students to go to their respective goal in life. So say you want to become a 3D artist. There's an event that you can go to throughout the year and basically learn more about 3D art or sciences or mathematics and all different subjects. We can't have all subjects, but we want to basically find ways to make a student have access to those opportunities that we don't offer. Any questions? And lastly, the last slide will be resource allocations and initiatives. So students discussed how unequal access to opportunities and limited resources can affect programs, educational experiences, and support systems across the school. Students expressed that interest in expanding programs that directly support student growth and academic success and career development and mental well-being. Many students also recommended to improve educational equipment, expanding student initiatives, and continue sustainability in environmental projects throughout the many schools that we have. Another important theme as students discussing was making sure that resources and opportunities are accessible to as many students as possible. So opportunities such as the many pathway programs that we have in HPS or the many after-school programs that there are. Some students don't know they exist. And so they basically want more initiatives and like say, basically the same, it's like the same suggestions on another slide that I mentioned before, where like a presentation throughout the school year from school leaders presenting the many opportunities that there are throughout the district itself and beyond. So I'm going to leave the board with these questions and feedback. You can answer it now, you can answer it later. Yeah, there's many different problems and possible solutions that there could be in the NHPS, but we can't really answer all of them because one, funding, and two, finding them in the first place. So basically the key takeaway, students want stronger support systems related to mental health, academics, and overall well-being. They want clear communication, consistency, and transparency regarding school expectations or policies and opportunities. Students also want also value inclusion, representation, extracurricular involvement, and positive school culture. And finally, one of the most important themes throughout this report was the importance of continued student voice. So that's all that I have for today for my presentation. And thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ali.
I'll-
Ms. Daly, Dr. Benitez, and then Mr. Waters.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to say that this was very very thorough, very good. Many things have been mentioned. Just for clarification, there is a mental health support problem in Connecticut, not just in our schools, but everywhere. So it's something that I want you kids to continue to talk about and to advocate, and really never say it's enough, because it's not enough. Adults in our state are not able to get services. Young people are not able to get services outside of schools. So it is a real problem. But I wanted to ask you, have you thought of looking at all these concerns and identifying the staff members who are in charge of impacting those different areas that you surveyed?
That was actually what I was gonna do next. After this report, I was going to basically find out all of what's missing throughout NHPS and basically report back to you as soon as I can. And
I'm going to make a recommendation. Maybe it's not my place, but I think you need to have a meeting with Ms. Keisha Hannans, who's the head of academics, and with Ms. Tiffany Jackson, who would be the person that understands what are the services that are mental health and special education, other services. And I think if you meet with both those people, they'll be able to at least advise you on people who can support the work that you're trying to do with your team. Most important is that they may have answers, and there might be things that, for whatever reasons, kids don't know that they have access to or that they could. So just a suggestion, those two people are key people for you to at least start. And I'm sure they'll love to hear and see more of what you have, because I'm sure that right now, completing their planning for next year, so they could use some of that feedback for that.
I mean, yeah, there's like many different state government programs that students don't know about when it comes to most of these issues. There's like basically a lot of different things. It's just that the students themselves don't know that exists.
Right, and young kids are in school to go to get their academics, but as you said, we cannot get to academics if we have other issues that are not resolved. Now, the other thing I wanted to say, that there's one more person, and I keep forgetting, my goodness, I know this person's name. I worked with her for many years. Is the young woman who does the college to career,
Dina.
Naralino. Yes, thank you. Ms. Naralino is the other person that I would share the concerns, because she is constantly doing things. So I think it's important for you to have those conversations, and they might even come to your meetings to provide information that you can then disseminate to students.
Yeah,
Just a recommendation.
Yeah, we had Miss Nalino before come, I believe, twice to some of the student government meetings. Just that we haven't really implemented, because it's just for student government. There's like 80 people. We have 20,000 kids. So the goal is to reach from those 80 people who know about these programs to the 20,000 kids that we have in HPS.
By the way, we went down to 17. Is that what we are now? 17,000?
So 18,000.
Yeah,
Right.
it's sad. Used to be 21, actually 22 when I retired. But thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Dr. Benitez. Mr. Waters and then Dr. Joyner.
Sure, Mr. Ailey, I just wanted to let you know that even as you were giving your presentation, New Haven Public Schools sent out a communication about a mental health awareness night at, it's on the 13th on Dixwell. So there is this communication that is out. I would ask if at all possible, I'm sure you'll receive this email or I received it by text as well. If you'd forward that out to your networks, especially, folks that that were, concerned about mental health services, I think it's great. And I think this is a wonderful opportunity for students, families at New Haven Public Schools to become aware of some of the services that might be available that we don't know about. And I will just say that I personally happen to know that there is regionally and if not nationally a deficit of mental health services for young people. I mean, a very dear family friend of ours whose child needed a bed in a psychiatric facility, and there was waiting lists, and then once she was, after hospitalization, waiting lists for therapists and all kinds of other things. It's a big problem we have in our country right now, and hopefully we'll find some solution to that as beyond. It's much beyond what New Haven Public Schools can accomplish. But we do have this mental health awareness night on the 13th. We hope that families will become aware of it. It's at the Q House at 197 Dixwell from 5 to 7 on May 13th. So for those of you that are listening online or that are writing about it for our local media and Mr. Ali, also if you'll share that with your networks, that would be fantastic. I think that it'd be wonderful if people could avail themselves of those resources. Thank you.
Thank you. And yeah, there has been like the only solution so far that basically nationally was online therapy that now exists. A lot of the state insurances do use the online therapies that there are and throughout the state, but that's not really a solution. And I'll be honest, students don't want to go to online therapy. They want to go in person and look to the person face to face for their problems. And sometimes, and this was one of the concerns that happened, is to the point that some students throughout our own districts go to their school counselors for when it comes to their mental health rather than actual psychiatric specialist. And it's like, it's a big concern. I don't think that, school counselors like trained for that specific genre in a way. But it came to that point where some students rely on their school counselors for some of the problems.
Important insight. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Waters. Dr. Joyner?
Yeah, Ali, I hope you take my comments in the spirit for which they were intended. And I think that we're close enough for you and I to have a follow-up conversation once I get better. One, I was taught that the first place you look for a helping hand is at the end of your own arm. And just about everybody in my generation was taught that self-help was a critical part of becoming more effective in the world. And now people lay a lot at the doorstep of schools. We are the largest restaurant in the city. We're the largest transportation system. We also do a lot of primary care for children who don't have physicians. And we offer mental health services and so on and so forth. The problem that you're describing is a result of a symphony of human behavior, some positive, some not. It's not just the people in this community that are responsible for some of the problems that we endure. It's leadership, at multiple levels of our system and in the world that actually manufacture the stress that we all are experiencing. It's manufactured. And so I think we have to help people first understand the problem. The first question is, what can students do for themselves in terms of the kinds of behaviors that are pro-social, pro-psychosocial, that keep them out of harm's way in terms of how they go through the day and so on and so forth. And that's an adult, because you really are a highly mature young man. I don't know if I know anybody like you, at least in the last 10 or 20 years. But what can you do for yourself? And how much responsibility you have to seek out help? And also to avoid the kinds of behaviors that stress you and get you in trouble in the first place. I've had young people in our family over the last 5 years commit suicide. I've had some murders. And I hate to say this, but a lot of what happened to them could have been predicted based on the way that they moved through the world. It doesn't mean that the family didn't try to help them. But unfortunately, that's the reality. As y'all say, real talk, keeping it 100. And in some cases, they were the victims of other people that didn't have their psychosocial stuff together. The first point of contact for dealing with this institutionally is your teacher or your teachers and your principal. I don't know if Mrs. Donna is still on, but we had teen life conferences and the kids planned them. And the kids came to us and said, can we do this? That has to happen at the building level. We do policy and we're going to do it. We're going to continue to do it well. But it is the student's family, the classroom, and the school that are the battleground for resolving a lot of these issues. We try to create the best climate we can in the city through public safety measures. But you got another thing, you use social media in many ways negatively, but you can also use it to spread the news about what's available, to create chat groups where people are supporting each other, and so on and so forth. So the question is, what can people do for themselves first, and how can we support it with the resources that we have? And that's critically important because what always bothered me, and it's not about you, it's about the way the world operates, is that there are some people who look to other people to solve their problems. And then there are some people who create problems for other people to solve. And they're not just kids. Sometimes they're elected officials, billionaires. All you have to do is read, you'll know who they are. So this is right under the umbrella of a COMA format, because what it does, one, it identifies those pathways that are critically important for human functioning. And two, it creates a structure and a process, as Mr. Suarez just mentioned, that we create programs and people need to come to them and take advantage of it. And you're right, guidance counselors are academic counselors, and we don't have enough people. But the problem begins much sooner than that. And we have our limitations. But we would be better served if all the people who want help would also begin with helping themselves. If you can think of another way, I like to know, because in the years I've been around, you cannot help a person without their commitment and they have to actually, someone said the therapist should never outwork the patient. And having mentored a lot of kids over time, I've had to say to some kids, hey, listen, I gotta go now because you're not matching my commitment. And one kid told me, I thought I got 3 strikes. This ain't baseball, bruh. It's not baseball. You only get 2 in baseball. You strike out on the 3rd one. And so it takes a level of commitment to yourself. And I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about a range of people, adults and children, that are out there that need support. But again, I'll end with what I said first. The first place to look for a helping hand is at the end of your own arm. we had limited resources. Dr. B made a good point about all the people you should talk to. And students should first get a list of things that they can do that will improve their lives and the students. A lot of problems we have in schools with equipment is because of vandalism. And I don't think any teachers are going in vandalizing stuff. And there's no phantom that comes in at night, decides they're going to tear up some stuff. And so students have to hold each other accountable for that. They have to hold each other accountable when they can for the way they talk to teachers, in some cases, assault teachers and staff. And so we need some tough love to start. And then whatever you can't do for yourself, we'll try to support you. But you're in school for about 6 hours a day, 180 days, 80 days a week, and you're someplace else for the remainder of that time. And we don't control all of that stuff. So we have to be realistic about what we can and cannot do and not make promises that we cannot keep. I could always promise a kid, I will work just as hard for you as you do for yourself. And I cannot control you with a remote. My own children, I told them that. Match my commitment. You should exceed it. So I'd love to have a conversation with you after this, once I get a little better. You're one of my favorite people. So I hope you don't take my response as a criticism of you. I hope you accept it as a reality statement.
It's because
And
it is. It's because it is.
Mm,
I mean, our students start as a cocoon, right?
mhm,
Who nurtures that cocoon? The parent.
absolutely.
So say the parent was nurturing very well, then that cocoon spires up, becomes something. Then they go to school. And then the school has, say, either a welcoming culture or an unwelcoming culture. If it's an unwelcoming culture, the person that was born from that cocoon is going to turn into that unwelcoming person.
Well, some
Or
kids are
if
more
they were
welcome.
wel-
Some kids are
Well-
more welcome than others. That's another reality. But I'm gonna stop now because I talked too much in the first place. But I would love to have a one-on-one with you, or 2-on-1, or 5-on-1, or whatever, so that we can hash this out and go from there. But I understand your explanation. I know quite a bit about social psychology and psychology and all that stuff. So not just theoretically. So thank you very much. I love you dearly. If I were adopting somebody and you were eligible, I'd pick you up right away. But no, he's a remarkable. This kid is better than most senators and representatives that you see speaking on C-SPAN. I mean, look at some of the clown stuff that you see in our federal government in terms of representatives and senators. If they had his social intelligence, his emotional intelligence, the world would be a better place. So anyway, let me stop.
Thank you, Dr. Joyner. Quickly, just want to comment, one, in terms of feedback, I agree with the thoroughness of the presentation, the order, the clarity of it, the pace at which you spoke, the understanding that you lent to each of the points that were in the slides, and how you were able to synthesize what the students are talking about to bring it to a point of recommendation and a point of request. And highlighting what is working well and where improvements can be. I really appreciate your delivery and how you communicated that. So well done on that front. And I hope you don't take that for granted, because you can have all the right information. If you don't deliver it well, people don't hear it, people don't receive it, because they can't. They're frustrated by how it's communicated. So I really appreciate how you delivered this. Two takeaways, well, one takeaway, one curiosity that I have. So one takeaway that I have is just over communication, increasing awareness about the resources and the opportunities that exist. That's something that maybe costs a little bit, but it doesn't cost as much as one might think. And I think it could go a long way. And I appreciate what you named in terms of once a year, a couple times a year, really helping the students in a particular school know what is available to them, putting it in front of them, particularly in this culture where students and adults are presented with a lot of things. It's good to have a reminder of what is available so students can access it and how to access it. The curiosity I have, particularly around the tutors, just wondering if the students self-organize in any particular way in terms of tutoring. And if they can tutor each other, and if that's been something that's been effective or not.
I know some private organizations like New Haven Read have been getting a lot of our students, mainly people from 11th and 12th grade, to basically tutor some of our kids. However, that is limited. And the expansion of a program such as this, where it could help with academia, is basically very much needed. I mean, I don't think you want to pay thousands, if not millions of dollars for tutors that could be unreliable in the case that you can have a student who already learned a subject and knows it very well.
Yeah, good. Thank you very much. And you asked for a board response and you put information in terms of what are the questions from the students. So I look forward to going through that personally and also as a board and being able to follow up with you even as you take Dr. Benitez's recommendations to follow up with staff. So thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Good job. There is no Head Start Committee report. The Head Start Committee is preparing to meet. There is no Food Service Task Group report. The Food Service Task Group will meet 4 p.m. on Wednesday. Mr. Wilcox, the Citywide School Building Committee report.
That committee will meet again this coming Thursday at 4:30, so no report at this time.
Thank you. And there's no Facilities Naming Committee report. Work is still being done. I'll welcome a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. That's been moved and seconded. Mr. Wilcox,
Yes.
Dr. Benitez,
Yes.
Dr. Joyner,
Yes.
Ms. Downer.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Juarez,
Yes.
Mr. Ailey.
Yes.
I'm a yes as well. We are adjourned. Thank you.